Hey family, hey family, hey family. It is your girl. It is Michelle Allen Franklin, honey. Yes, boo. Mrs. Michelle D.I. Why? For divine intervention, honey, because there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Your girl's going to give you the good information, boo. The things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And it is day 4 of Men's Month. Your girl has been struggling today. You hear my throat? The devil's busy. He busy trying to take my voice, but I ain't gonna let him do it. I ain't gonna let him do it all day long. I've been stressing and pressing and pushing and going through, not stressing, but waiting for this to pass. And so, but your girl's gonna come and give you something. Baby, it's Men's Month. And that means it is June. It is June the 4th. It's Men's Month. And each and every day, your girl is gonna be giving you a tip or something that has to do with men and men's health. Um, or something that will help our men along the way. It's always something happening. So, real quick, yesterday, your girl premiered an interview with uh, just I can't even, I don't even know what the word is, but he is just a plethora of knowledge, is what he is. Mr. Casey Muse premiered yesterday on June the 3rd day of Men's Month. Casey Muse, we talked about his amazing new program that he has this summer. If you have a young person, let me find my little note. If you have a young person, between the ages of 13 and 22, Casey has a mentoring program this summer. Boo, don't worry about it if you're not in Tyler, Texas, honey. Yeah, he got you covered. He got you covered. It is a Zoom, sessions that y'all are going to be having. So that opens up the gate for yes. Your young person, your young man in your life, your cousin, your nephew, your whoever it is. Tell him to text Casey, mentor, mentor. Text the word mentor, mentor, to 936 234 9470. Boo. Casey got you covered. June and July, they will have sessions available. And at the end of it, he said they're going to do a big conference, honey, and they're doing it big. And so you want to be a part of it. You want your family member to be a part of it. Casey has some amazing, again, just a wealth of knowledge, and has this amazing program that he's going to have for the youth this summer. And don't our boys need something to do? Yes, they do. And don't we need good mentors out there? Yes, we do. And so if they're not sitting around doing anything but playing video games, honey, get them on the call with Casey. Again, text the word mentor, mentor, to 936 234 9470. Boo, I already told you, don't matter where you are. Don't ask me the same question. I told you. Yes, your baby can go too. I'm telling you, your baby can go. Text them. Okay. I've done my service for the day on that. Now, really quickly, I want to talk to the men. Yesterday, Casey and I were we talked about a plethora of things, but we were talking about the mentoring program. We talked about how music fluently has an impression on your mind, helps your mental health, healing modality. I love it. And then we talked about relationships, and he is in an amazing relationship with his beautiful wife, Miss Kimberly Muse. And he talks about how they are dating, honey. Still 1 year in marriage, they are dating. Yes, they have a date night. Do you have a date night with your boo? That might be part of the problem, boo. If you're having some if you're having some situations. Mhm. We talked about communication. We talked about a lot. It's a great interview. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I heard somebody say, "Well, where can I find it?" You know, all the interviews, it's on the YouTube channel, Reflections, CMGF. That's Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. On the YouTube channel, boo, you know I got you. Go over to the podcast section. Slide down. It's on there. Yeah, men's edition. Okay. That's where it's at. I got you, boo. My bad. My bad. Okay, come back. Now, we talked about a plethora of things yesterday. Communication is one. Are you communicating with your boo? A lot of you men are not. And so this month, we are going to be talking about things that, you men deal with. hmm And I'm getting this information from other men. I'm getting the information from research. I'm getting it because, your girl's been a nurse for 25 years. And so just things that I have learned along the way. Now, this is why. What is going on? How can we help you guys to communicate a little bit better? So this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 tips for you really quickly, okay? We're going to talk about communication and helping men to open up. Yes, a little bit. If you want to have better relationships, and this doesn't matter if it is with your children, if it is with your significant other, if it is with your next relationship, whoever it is, it could be your parents, your siblings, your friends, right? You guys are, so I don't know what the word I want to use is. Um, I think it's just easier for you to hold things in, to pretend like things are okay when they're not. And for me, I am very sensitive to people who suffer in silence. hmm And so for me, it is, opening up the gate to allow you to know that you're not the only one, boo. You're not the only one. It is sometimes men have a hard time saying what they need and what they feel. It's not because they don't have feelings, right? Which a lot of people act that way, like y'all don't have feelings. It is just that you were never showed, maybe you were never taught how to use them, right? How to show them. Uh, think of it like trying to talk to someone with your mouth full of marbles. It don't work. The feelings are there, but it's hard to get the words out. So these are 5 simple steps is what we're doing. 5 simple steps that can help you just open up and communicate better. All right, here we go. Number 1, be safe, right? You can't, I understand you can't talk to everyone. I understand. I know. You can't talk to everyone, but there is someone out there that you feel safe with that you can talk to. So what can you do? It is, and this is for the women because my audience is 48% women, 42% men. So I know y'all all are watching. So women, what are some things that you can do? Friends, what are some things that you can do? Make the other person feel like they won't get in trouble if they tell you, that they're not going to be laughed at if they talk to you, or feel like that they're being talked over and their feelings are not even considered, right? So it says, this is an example given. Let's say your friend says, I'm tired of trying so hard and nobody sees me. And you say, that sounds really hard. I'm glad you told me. Instead of saying, man up, what's wrong with you? What? You tired of what? Man, get up out of here with that. No, that sounds really hard. Like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, what's up? What's up with you? What's up with you? Sometimes people just need you to say, what's wrong? You okay? And really genuinely mean it. That helps them to feel safe. It helps people to feel safe, like you're giving them a cozy blanket instead of the cold shoulder. All right, number 2. Ask questions that don't feel like trap. Who knows people that do this? Ask questions that don't feel like a trap. What does that mean? It means don't ask questions that sound like you blaming them. Ask kind questions that help someone to talk. Have you ever spoke to someone who is always just so, they always have a question with a question, right? Can't answer the question, or just always make you feel some kind of way about it. Mm-hmm. And then tell me, why don't you ever talk to me? Why don't you ever tell me what's going on? Well, have you looked in the mirror how you behaving? Hmm. Instead of saying, what's going on with you in your heart? Like, what's wrong? What do you need right now to feel better? What do you need right now to feel better? Instead of, what's wrong with you? Right? When things are wrong, is it me? Can you even sometimes express it? This is men and women. Like, do you even know how to express it? No, you don't. And so it is that thing, right? Okay, number 3, go first and share a little bit about yourself. Yeah, establish that trust to make people feel like they're not the only ones. And so establishing that trust. How about you saying something like, sometimes I feel lonely even when people are around. Yeah. Me and DJ Juice talked about this last year. His interview is under the men's edition. Uh, and he said, being in a room full of people and still feeling alone, or even laying next to someone, right? That's what he said. Laying next to someone and still feeling alone. That's a lot. That's a lot to say. But there is, a lot of people that feel that way, because a lot of things, what I've noticed anyway, just in talking to different people, a lot of times you're trying to fill a void. And so you will have someone in your bed, right? Um, you guys will have someone in your bed, and still you really, that's not what you want. Is not probably not even the person that you want to be with, but you're just trying to fill that void. And so again, feeling lonely even when people are around. And do you ever feel that way? Just asking someone, have you felt lonely? You'll be surprised how many people are like, yes, I know that feeling. But what it's doing is it's showing someone it's okay for you to what? Not stick your foot in the water. Jump in, boo. Jump in with me. Right? I always say, if I'm going out on the limb, baby, I'm not going out there by myself for me to go out on the limb. And if at the break and you looking and laughing, no, boo, come on out here on this limb with me. If we going out on the limb, we can have a conversation. If you just trying to put me out on the limb, I'm not going. Not going. So yes, jump in that water, boo, and walk on up out that limb. Stop sticking your toes in there. All right, number 4. Uh, don't try to fix it. Don't try to fix it. This is a big one. Don't try to fix it, especially for parents. Don't try to fix it. Just be there. You don't have to solve their problems, whoever your there is, right? Just talk to them and just listen sometimes. Sometimes it just takes listening. It's hard, especially if you are a fixer by nature, right? It's hard when you feel someone is suffering. It's hard when it's someone that you love to listen to them just going through and not being able to fix it. But understanding that you being there is just enough. You allowing that person to say whatever they need to say is just enough. You being a non-judgmental ear, right? Is just enough. Um, an example here given, it says, if he says, I feel like I'm not good enough, don't say just get over it. That's the worst thing you could say. Best believe that person probably is never going to tell you anything again. Just don't understand. uh, or saying something better like, I feel like that sometimes too, you know, and y'all can talk about it more and have a conversation. You don't fix a crying baby by saying stop. That's the example given. You don't fix a crying baby by saying stop. You hold them and help them to calm down. This definitely can be for your relationships. You know, a lot of times, I think that men don't know how to comfort you. I don't know what to do. And again, just some arms wrapped around your woman, honey. You don't even understand how much just your presence means. And so it is just very significant to just put your arms around your woman, right? Put your arms around her and just hold her. Babe, I'm here with you. You might not know what to say. You might not know what to do. You don't have to have all the words. You don't have to fix it, right? But babe, I'm here. Babe, I'm here with you. You know, I'm here listening. That's it. That's it. The last one, number 5, is celebrate the small wins. This is huge. Celebrate the small wins. When someone shares even a little, tell them you're proud of them. When someone shares even a little, tell them that you're proud of them. I do this with the men when I'm talking to them, especially when men call in and it's something hard that they're sharing and they're calling and they're telling. I literally just told this man this tonight. Someone called and their son was injured. And I could tell he was thinking like, I don't know if I should even be saying this, like somebody might call CPS on me or something like that. And I just said to him, I said, sir, I'm really, really proud of you because I know you're scared, because he was saying his son was walking around holding his arm and holding it. And I said, I know that you're really, really scared. But you called anyway because you thought enough about your son and you care enough about your child. So you didn't allow fear to not let you, because some people would have just been like, okay, let me just be quiet and see if he's okay in the morning, right? Which is the worst thing that you could do. But again, when someone shares even a little, tell them that you're proud of them, celebrating the small wins. I'm glad you told me that. That requires trust when people call to tell you something. It requires a level of trust that maybe you really shouldn't take for granted, right? Because they chose you to come and tell you and talk to you about it. And so that will help you to understand the person a little bit better. So just say thank you. Thank you for trusting, for confiding in me. That's why when people come on my podcast, I always say thank you, right? People don't have to come and tell you their stories. People don't have to share their lives with you. And that's a blessing that somebody would trust you with that, right? And so you don't take that for granted. And this example says, think of it like giving a gold star, not for being perfect, but for being real. And in that's all we want, is someone to be real with us, right? You want someone to be real with you, so why are you not being real with someone else? Are you the one that's letting everyone tell all of their business and you ain't saying anything? Yeah, I see you. Look, I see you. I see you, honey. It's okay. Stop being scared. Right? This is definitely real life. Communication is the key to all things. I told this story before. I was interviewing the president of my hospital, Mount Washington Pediatric Hospital, Mr. Shelley Stein at the time. And this was some years ago. And I asked him what was one of his greatest lessons. And he said that it does not matter where you are, whether you're at the top on a third floor with the executive suite, whether you're on the floor with the nurses, occupational therapists, nutritionists, all the people, or if you're downstairs in the basement. He said, no matter where you are in the hospital, when there is an issue, it generally boils down to communication. Either you're not communicating at all, either you're communicating, not communicating enough, or you're over communicating, right? And I want you to really sit and think about that anytime that you've ever had a situation. Were you communicating? Were you assuming that someone knew how you felt, what you were going to do, whatever it was? Well, they should have known because of where all of the things. Yeah, you don't even understand that people are going through their own things, hadn't even thought about it, not thinking about it in that negative way that you have twisted and turned and told yourself a whole story, hadn't talked to anybody. But you'd made a whole story up assuming in your mind of what happened or what that person was thinking, why they did what they did, right? Mm-hmm. Stop that. You ain't said a word. Nothing. Uh-huh. Okay, yeah. Or not saying enough. How many people was just saying a little bit and then again assuming somebody understand what you're talking about? I have a friend, we're talking and he says to me all the time, you understand what I'm saying? I'm like, no, because you ain't told me yet. No, I don't understand. Tell me something else. Tell me some more. I don't have it. No, I don't understand. He said, you're the only person that said that to me. I'm like, well, everybody else fronting, and I can't do that. So, what you trying to say? I'm trying to get an understanding because I'm listening. So you have to make sure that you're explaining things the way that if somebody is saying the same thing to you over and over, if someone is doing the same things over and over, maybe they don't have an understanding of what it is exactly that you need. And so you need to slow down and and explain it to them like they in the third grade. hmm Very simple words, not these big, extravagant words. People always say to me when I'm explaining things, I've always heard people say, I've never heard anyone explain it the way that you explain it. Very, very simple things. If you listen to anything that I do, I'm joking, kind of throughout. But I do come back and I do try to break it down and explain it. I don't use words. I can go from uh the ghetto, hmm all the way up to a boardroom, honey. I can go, from here to there in no time. But it does not, I don't feel like I have to prove that I'm smart, right? When you know who you are, I don't have to use big words to whatever. My purpose is for you to understand what I'm saying, for me to break down all of the big words so that you have an understanding of what's going on. Doesn't make me any less smart. I'm talking to that person that feel like they got to use all these big words in order to seem like or make people understand and know that you're smart. You know that you're smart, right? So when you're communicating, you have to make sure that you know who you are communicating to, and so that people can understand what you're trying to say, right? So that you can get your point across. The last one is over communicating, and we're wrapping up with this one, honey. Who knows that one? I know that one very well. If you cussing and fussing, if you ever did some cussing and fussing in your life, that's you. And when I say that's you, I mean that's me. In them 20s, honey, I was cussing and fussing a whole lot, cussing and cussing and cussing some more. I really was. I really was. And I remember working at the pediatric hospital, Mount Washington, and one of the nurses, Susan Brennan, she said to me, she said, Michelle, I've never seen someone cuss someone out without saying one cuss word. That was me. But when I was outside that hospital, if somebody got, I got you. Not often, but when I did, I did. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So you got to know yourself, right? You have to start by one, what? Being honest with yourself and knowing what are some things that I need to work on. Do I communicate well? Or what can I improve on, right? But it starts with you, honey, taking a look in the mirror. How can you find out if you have something that someone is always saying to you and you're taking offense to it instead of listening to what that person is saying? Mhm. That's where you need to start, boo. That's where you need to start. Okay? Look, example, like I just talked about. My example is I talk about my brother all the time because we were together, younger and in those younger days and young years. And he said to me, I always hear his voice saying to me, how the way that I would say stuff to him, you know what I mean? I didn't say stuff much often, but when I said it, I said it. And it wasn't nice. And mainly because I've done all of the things. I've been all three things, all of the layers of the communication, not communicating enough, not communicating at all, and over communicating because I'm holding things in. And so then when you hold things in, you finally explode, right? And then it just comes out nasty. And that's not where you want to be, right? So um that's one of the biggest things. And so just hoping this month that we have some conversation and have some open conversations about where we can be and how we can be a little bit better. It is not about being perfect. It's not about beating yourself up. It is just about being able to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. And what are some changes that I can make? It is about self-reflection, right? Yes, it is about having the communication with yourself, open and honest communication with yourself. Because if you can't communicate with you, if you can't be honest with yourself, well, what's your purpose, honey? What's your purpose? What you doing? Yes. Well, boo, it is again day 4 of Men's Month, and we're talking communication. And so I'll be back tomorrow. What I'm going to do, I've decided I always like to do something a little bit different each and every time. So what I'm going to do is the podcast that whatever premieres, I'm going to go back. As I went back yesterday, I was listening to the podcast again. I love the podcast again with Mr. Casey Muse. Y'all, please check that out. I promise you, listen to it. It gets real good. About 20 minutes in, it get really, really good. But I said, let me just talk about some things because as things are coming up on the podcast, I can't ask all the questions and then I can't educate and take away. We'll be there to be 2 or 3 hours. So I'm going to just break some things down that come up in these podcasts and give a little more information and education in hopes to get you a little bit further on your journey. All right, that's what your girl doing. It is Men's Month, honey. Y'all know how I do. Join me back here tomorrow. I'll be back, boo. Look, I'll be back, hopefully a little bit better. We shall see. But if it's not, I'll be here anyway. Good night.